okay? And it involves channels, and I don't want you, I will show you, because I want to show you that there are other ways to do this, and you have a lot of options, yeah? And depending on what you want to do, you can check it out, yeah? And this is a tool which involves something which is called a channel, yeah? And the channels are these guys, yeah? So you have your layer tools, that's the layers. The channels is the information how your image is being represented. And if you know, in a monitor we have RGB, red, green, and blue. That means the image, if you really move closer, I don't know if it's gonna see here, it will end up being, when you see your beamer, you will end up having red, green, and blue points. Yeah. So if you move close to the projector, you will see them. That there is not a green. There is only these three colors. Yeah. So these three colors are represented by three channels, yeah? And all together give the picture. Yeah? So the green channel will be this. Yeah? Everything which is black will be green, and everything which is white will be, no, in this case is red. Everything which is black is red, and everything which is white is nothing. Yeah? Okay? There is the green channel, looks like that, and the blue channel, yeah? Looks like this. Yeah? Okay? So in essence, if instead of having it black and white, I have it blue, and in this I have it green, and this I have it red, I will put them all together on one on top of each other, and I will get the full image. Yeah? If I start deactivating some, you start getting these weird effects. Yeah? Okay? This is the technicality. This is the technical aspect of that. This technique involves the channel, and I don't want you to think about why. Just look at how it's done, and you can just repeat it. Yeah. So the technique is you go to your channels, and you look, clicking on the channels, you look for the one which has the most contrast. Yeah. In this case, this one, obviously. Yeah. This is a little bit less and a little bit less. This is the one I like most. Yeah. So this channel I will duplicate. Just by right-clicking, duplicate channel, you just click OK, and you will have a new channel there, which is quite confusing because this channel, this actors channel, has nothing to do with the image again. Yeah, it's just a hidden image there. Yeah, it's like a black and white representation, which is hidden there and it's stored, and you can do whatever you want with that. Yeah, you can select it by right-click. And then everything which is white, by command click, everything which is white would be selected. So this is a way to save selections, yeah, if you want. But you can also have it there, manipulate, yeah, change it, and then select and use it for erasing some things. Yeah. So let's say now, step one, select the channel which has the most contrast. Step two, duplicate that channel. Click on it to activate it, and now I will go, it's about this area, yeah? No? I will go first with my adjustment again layers, levels, and I will see that I get a black and white. No, I want to have this gray white and this black. White will be selected and black not, yeah? So let's do that. It's working fairly good, yeah? Fairly good. And I will stop somewhere here because now I will start having some conflicts. Yeah, the levels have some limits. So now these are starting to mix too much. I will leave it over there. I have a fairly contrasted image. Yeah. No, I need to have really a black and white image. Yeah? Step 4. Select your brush tool. Yeah. Make it a little bit bigger. No, with Control Alt, you can change the hardness and the size, yeah, just interactively. So make it soft. Change the opacity to something very low, like 10 and 20, so it's not so effective. Yeah? Okay. And now the one thing comes, the second one on this technique which you didn't learn, and you have to just accept it, is you change the blending tool of your brush on this window, you change it to hard mix. Don't tell me why, just do it, yeah? Okay? Yeah? Hard mix uses black and white to push the tone to that limit. So if I'm taking black and I start painting on top, you see it starts pushing that color to black, yeah? And if I change it to white, it will start pushing the tones to white. Yeah? Okay? So I will start with my mouse, changing a little bit the size. I will start clicking here and changing this color to black. Yeah? Yeah? Not too much. Yeah? There is a moment where it gets too hard. Yeah? So if I pay attention, yeah? If I exaggerate, yeah? Let's go back to black and bring this to black. If I exaggerate, you see there is a moment where it's getting really, really hard and pixely, and that you don't want. Yeah? So you stop somewhere where you have a nice contrast, but you still you don't have this rough thing happening there. Yeah? Okay, this I will kill it with my white. Yeah, and this is quite relaxing. Yeah. So you go around there. No, you put it in your favorite position. This is your favorite position, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, like that. Or the other one is like this. Yeah? Is yours, yeah? I see you very often like that. And you adapt this, yeah? Okay? So this is working good. Let's go on this side. I will show you now how this will end up looking at later on. I'm nearly finished. Here, white, I will increase the opacity so it's a little bit faster. Yeah? So this goes away. Yeah? And here this will be not working very well. Yeah? So now what I did is I have a black and white image. Let's kill all this one too. Let's make it black. Yeah? And in theory you can deal with the whole tree, no? But this is already done. Yeah? I don't need that one. It's only about this area now here. Yeah? Now I click OK back to my RGB. This guy is hidden, has nothing to do. Yeah? But I will press Command and click on this thumbnail. Yeah? When I press Command and I click, it will select everything which is white. Yeah? No? And remember, I pushed the tones. Yeah? So you see that it's now following this line. Yeah? Okay? I have the selection. Yeah? It's all around there. I go to my layers back, to my alpha, and here with black, I will just paint. Yeah? This I have to put it back to normal, this back to 100. Yeah? So it's filling, and I will just paint black there, and paint black here to hide, and the thing is done. Yeah? Deselect, and look.
This when you go back to the layers, not the channels.
No, this one I do in my alpha. I want to hide now. Yeah. The channels. The only reason I do that channel is I want to create a black and white image I can use to create a selection. Yeah. No, and instead of going and make this selection, I'm just painting with these hard mix colors, pushing the tones back and forth until I have a black and white picture I can use. Yeah. And this is an advanced technique. Yeah. So if I see an alpha like that in your file, I would be very happy. Yeah. And this image is now a nice image you can use for your library. It's not finished yet. Yeah. You need to save this now. Yeah? You need to save it in a way that the transparency is still there. Yeah? So I will save this image first in my folder. No? I have one for texture. I will create a folder here which is called cutout palm tree. Yeah? How you name it is up to you. Yeah? Here I will save it. my palm tree, okay, as a Photoshop file. All this you're going to submit to me, yeah? Okay, all these files. Now I will show you a few differences. Yeah? Save as. Let's save it as JPEG. Old known thing. In JPEG, always check that you have baseline checked. If you start selecting these other ones, they are optimizations which may cause problems. Sometimes you cannot open a JPEG, and it's because it's saved as baseline optimized, and some programs cannot read it. So always check that it's the standard and try to crank it up. Yeah, if you are not sending the JPEG per email, as big as possible, so you don't lose quality. Yeah. No? Okay. And now we are going to save as. There are two other formats of interest. One is called TIFF. Yeah? TIFF is an old format, was very popular before Photoshop came. Yeah? And TIFF can save also channels and layers.
ArchiCAD rendering save as TIFF.
Yeah, you can, because TIFF you can save, TIFF can save a lot of information. Yeah? So you can save also the layers and the alpha channels. The alpha channels is this one I created. Yeah? That's called an alpha channel. Yeah? A channel which is extra to the normal channels. Let's save it. Okay, no compression, no, it's important. Yeah, okay. And now a new format, it came with web. It's a fairly new one, I think it's only a decade old, yeah. Save as, and it's a very interesting one. It's called PNG, yeah. Okay, PNG, I will save it as a PNG. No compression, yeah. So keep it as big as possible. And let's see what happened in our Finder. Yeah? So I have my files, and look at the size. Yeah? The JPEG is the smallest. Yeah? JPEG is the most efficient one. If you want to reduce the size of a file and you want to send it to JPEG is a good choice. Yeah? PNG is the second best. Yeah? Okay, still it's a lot bigger than the JPEG. Look, 10 times bigger. No? Then PSD is quite efficient, and the TIFF is the biggest one. PDF is a container. It's different. In a PDF, you have JPEGs. No, it's container. You can let's make it. You can make a PDF file. Okay, save as. But I think I have to export it as PDF. Yeah. Sincerely, I never do this. Yeah, I never ever do this. Yeah. Because PDF, what it will do is it will take the image part of your picture, will create a JPEG out of it, and the text, which is a vector, will keep it as a vector. Yeah. No, that's what the PDF does. Yeah? So it's not going to preserve the Photoshop and so on. It will not do that. And since I'm not using Photoshop as a layout program, no, all my vectors and so all done in InDesign, I very, very rarely do this. Yeah. Save high quality, whatever, yeah. Let's see what happens, yeah. Where did I save it, by the way? I think I saved it somewhere. Oh no, it's PDF. I saved it, yeah. Oh, luckily. How big is it? 49, yeah. What the PDF did is it took. Probably it made a PNG out of the image, yeah, and it added some other information to that too. I don't know. I got in my life. I think I was working already 18 to 19 years in illustration and so on, and I only got once the Photoshop files as PDF, and I have no clue why. Yeah. I opened it. It was I had to open it as a JPEG, and it made no sense. Yeah. So the format PDF, forget it for this. You will not do that. You will create a PDF out of your templates. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, you're going to make a booklet. Yeah, the nice thing about a PDF, you can have a lot of pages in one format. Yeah, okay. But here you can. Sorry.
These formats, TIFF, PNG, and JPEG. then the backup?
No, this is the thing, yeah? TIFF is an old format, yeah? Very old. Also, it's a format often used when you're going to print things and they want to have total control and full. Sometimes they ask you a TIFF, yeah? No, because if for some reasons somebody doesn't have Photoshop or whatever, I don't know, they want a TIFF, yeah? Rare, yeah? I don't want you to save a TIFF, yeah? It's all. You preserve your Photoshop file, yeah? PSD is the thing, yeah? Everything is in there, yeah? All your transparencies, your filters, everything is there, untouched, yeah? So no point in using TIFF and risking that some things get lost, yeah? So you use a PSD file, and now PSD is nearly a standard, yeah? And then you have to think about two things, yeah? About one thing. You want transparencies or not, yeah? First thing you have to think about. And the second one is, do you need CMYK or not? Yeah? Remember color spaces, yeah? So CMYK or RGB, yeah? In your case, 99% of your life will be RGB because you're going to print in inkjet, you print with an RGB file, you're going to send things per email, you're going to show things in your computer, yeah? So you don't need CMYK. CMYK is printing, it's relevant when you start printing professionally. If you print in a laser printer eventually, yeah, laser color, or if you want to have really a publication, yeah, where they're going to use offset and they're going to print with cyan, magenta, yellow, and black ink, yeah. Okay, but inkjets, for some reasons, although they're printing with CMYK ink, they deal very good with the conversion from RGB, yeah. So RGB is in your case something which now you can ignore, yeah, but transparency is not, yeah. And the thing with JPEG is JPEG cannot save transparencies. I will make a very simple demonstration, yeah. Let's go to your folder again. And I think I have here, let's take some images, yeah. Let's make a weird, let's open this in Photoshop. Brick wall, yeah. And now I will drag and drop my guys there, yeah. I will drag and drop my PNG file, yeah? And you see the PNG has all the transparencies there, yeah. You see that? So if you're working with cutouts and so on, it's a good idea to save it as a PNG, yeah. Okay, so you just need to drag and drop it, and it's ready to use, yeah. JPEG. No, yeah. JPEG makes, from transparency, makes it white. Yeah? Okay, so you will not be able to use it as a transparent. The only thing you can do here is to multiply, you know, and then you will have this weird thing happening, yeah? Or, again, you will have to do the same thing again you did to clean up your images, yeah? Okay? Let's clean this one. The other one you can use also in Photoshop is the Photoshop file, yeah? You can just drag and drop that one inside, and it will create a smart object of that Photoshop file, yeah? Yeah? Okay? The difference between, well, the JPEG, the difference is clear, yeah? Super small, no transparencies, yeah? So if transparencies are really an issue, forget about JPEG, yeah? Okay, but when you're saving your final design, JPEG and PSD, yeah? JPEG is so good that it's very difficult to see the compression. JPEG is a compressed format, yeah? It's compressing some information, yeah? Very difficult to notice, yeah? So nearly in all cases, you will work very fine with JPEG, yeah? The difference between these two are what? What do you think? Here, this is my PSD file, yeah? this one. Yeah? And this is my PNG file. Yeah?
I think the PSD shows the exact way.
Yes, this is Photoshop file. Yeah. So remember, a smart object is a file in a file. Yeah. This is now my Photoshop file in that Photoshop file. Yeah? As, like saved in that Photoshop file. It's inside that file. Yeah? So if I double click this guy, you will see that all my layers, everything are there. Yeah. Yeah.
Which one's better?
Well, it depends. Yeah. This is the best because if you want to correct something, you have all there. Yeah. You can still go in here and say, no. Imagine you are in this image, and you realize this is annoying. I don't want it. Yeah. No. For whatever reason. Yeah. You can double click in your file. You can go into your mask. Go in there. I don't know. Pick up your brush. Make everything appropriate, and you erase that one. Yeah. Let's make it hard and small, and you erase this. Yeah. Imagine that's something you need to do. Now I will save this file. It's saving. It's saving it back into the other file. Yeah. Okay. It's like it's inside that other image, yeah? And I will close it, and it's adapted. Yeah. And when you're using trees, you will see that you will often create forests where this tree is repeated 100 times. Yeah. No, you will create a forest of palms. Yeah. No. Okay. Looks very natural now. Yeah. But you will see that often. No. Maybe this one you will make it bigger. Yeah. Okay. The other one you will maybe flip it. Yeah. Bigger too. Yeah. Okay. You can. All these are copies of the same smart object. No? And now you say, okay, I don't want this green down there. You just click in any of these. Go back to this, or maybe you can say, I will group this guy. Yeah? Put it in a group, and I will create a mask for the group, so I don't touch this one. I want to preserve that. But in this one, I will just take away all this. Yeah. Imagine that's something you want. Yeah. No? And now I will save this one again. Yeah. Back in that image. Yeah? I will close this guy, and all of my copies have been actualized. Yeah? So it's fairly powerful, you know, and it saves you a lot of time, you know, if you want to do that. Yeah. My PNG, on the opposite, if I double click that one, it's just the PNG. Yeah? It has none of the layers, yeah? And that's why it's smaller. Oh, somebody wants to sell me something. Okay. So back to our original file. Let's close this. You will have this guy. Yeah. This layer you can erase. You don't need that one anymore. Yeah? Okay. This little bit of color. Yeah. You will solve it later on when you composite it. When you are having your compositing, there are some tools to solve that. Yeah. If you want to correct that, you will have to do it directly here, but I don't expect that. Yeah. But normally I would deal with this one too and try to avoid to have this kind of bluish thing coming out. There are different ways to do. One I use is to create a new layer on top. This one I will change it to darken. What are my darker tools? Here, darken. Yeah, darken means it will only show when it's darker than the layer below. Yeah, and I will just pick up with my brush tool. I will select this guy. It's too big. Make it smaller and softer. Yeah. If I have my brush tool selected, I can press Alt. And I can select a color, so I will select some color here, and I will just paint a little bit around it. Yeah. No? In this case, it's too much. So we'll select a brighter color, and I will paint something which works. Yeah. No? That might be one way to deal with this border. Yeah? In this case, it's killing too much my color. Maybe it's a bad idea. Yeah. No. Or maybe for some parts, maybe here in the darker areas, this will solve quite well the problem, no? But it's killing too much the color, so this is a bad idea. No? Okay. Delete. Come on. Delete. Another way to deal with this is to manipulate your mask, yeah? And start playing with that. Yeah? Another way to do that is to work with your color adjustments. Yeah? No? So there are different ways. And the simpler way is to leave it like that, and then later on when you compose it, when you use that image on your final image, you will use a tool Photoshop gives you here in the very bottom, which is called matting. Yeah? And matting has a tool where it will adjust this to the background. Yeah? And that's probably the easiest way. Yeah? No? In this case, it's fairly complicated to really clean it up. Yeah? No? So in your case, I will accept this. I will not accept. Where are my? I will not accept. No, I will accept a really clean border. Yeah. I don't want to see some steppings, some weird patches, and things like that. Yeah. Things that happen when you're using, let's say, the magic wand. Yeah. Okay. Not that complicated. Yeah? Look, the last one I showed you is would be the advanced tool. Yeah, the one with the channels. If you want, try to do that. Yeah, but you need to use the first part. Yeah, color selection, adjustments, layers, using your masks, and using your vector mask to clean up later on. Yeah? Put the movie and do it step by step. Yeah? Bring your film, look the recording, stop it, do it. Yeah? Cool? The end.